this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. My special guest today from Destination Downtown, the Executive Director, Dave Scheffler, and the new Program Coordinator, Michelle Storrs. Welcome.
Hi, Mike.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here today. We got through the snow, and it's a heat wave out there today. So
Sunshine.
Absolutely. A lot of activities going on downtown.
It's unstoppable.
There's more stuff all the time. And actually, we have some pictures of downtown. You might want to go through these and tell us what.
Yeah, that's the fountain as it was decorated by the Parks Department this year, and that was the Tuesday afternoon that it snowed. This is Main Street, showing a busy day downtown, as taken by Walter. Yeah, the guy that
Walter
sits on top of a building downtown. And the 2016 Lancaster High School sculpture and the students who were involved in creating that. And then a picture of the Art Walk downtown from last year. So our biggest activity of the year. And which brings 10,000, depending on whose estimate that you listen to, downtown for one fun evening.
Absolutely, it's a great time. It's an absolutely super time. Michelle, let's talk a little bit about your new position and your responsibilities and all those neat things.
Well, I get the pleasure of being involved in coordinating these events. The person that was there before me left some pretty big shoes to fill, so I'm working hard to keep up with what she started and move us forward. We have a lot of events coming up. The first one is in January, our annual gathering, which will highlight our past accomplishments for the last year and look forward to the new year of all that's coming.
So is that the annual meeting? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Correct.
What information, where do people get tickets? What's the easiest way to
They can go online to destinationdowntownlancaster.com. Under the events is the annual gathering, and they can register right through the website.
And where is the event at?
It's upstairs at the Ale House in their banquet facility. And there is a limit on the number of people we can have, so it will get sold out. So we'd recommend that you get your tickets early.
And tickets are how much?
$20 if you're not a member of the DDL or the Special Improvement District, or $15 for members.
Okay. And when is that again?
January 26th.
Which is Monday?
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fantastic.
5:30.
5:30.
We'll have a bit of a social gathering time, and then a very, very short
presentation.
business meeting for the Special Improvement District, which is legally required. And then we'll have a little presentation of highlights of 2016 and what we're looking forward to 2017. And then we have some awards that we give every year for different developments downtown.
Well, Michelle, what brought you to this job?
Well, I was
Other than working with Dave. We know you want to work
that
with
was
Dave.
the biggest draw. I was retiring from owning my own business, and I was looking for what I was going to be next. And, social media, I was on Facebook one evening and saw the job posting and read through it, and it intrigued me and interested me, so I applied and went through the process, and here we are.
Well, that's fantastic. That's super. So you've been on the job a couple weeks?
About a month.
About a month?
I did have a little time of absence that was pre-planned before I took the position, so I've had about 3 working weeks.
Fantastic. Well, welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm sure you do a great job. You talked a little bit about the Special Improvement District.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that, because people get confused about, well, what's Destination Downtown and what's SID?
Right. The Lancaster Downtown Special Improvement District is the property owners on Main Street from Memorial Drive to High Street, and on Columbus Street and Broad Street from Wheeling down to Walnut. And the Special Improvement District is renewed every 5 years by initiative petition. The property owners actually initiate a petition to be assessed a certain amount. Currently it's $10.50 per front foot, which goes into a fund which provides for maintenance downtown. We do empty the trash cans, pick up trash, clear the snow, put de-icing down, and also economic development. So that helps pay my salary and Michelle's salary during the year, in addition to the funds that DDL raises through events, dues, sponsorships, fundraising events, etc.
Now, we talked a lot about activities. Do you get ideas from downtown businesses? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that?
Yes, we do. We have no shortage of ideas for things that we should do. And obviously it's limited by the resources that we have, basically being Michelle's time to put them off because they require a lot of organization and effort. For instance, the Art Walk, which is our biggest event of the year, actually Michelle's working on the Art Walk right now. It starts already, and it picks up as we get closer and closer to July, and it's pretty much a full-time plus job the last few weeks before the festival starts.
Is that a new challenge for you? Is that something that you've ever been involved with before?
I've been a part of organizing events, not the Art Walk per se, but through charitable works we've done, and I have a grasp on it.
Right.
So we're excited for it to come.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be. It's a great event. It has always been a super event.
Yeah, most people don't know of what DDL's involvement is with the Art Walk. We run the art part of the Art Walk. The artists, they apply to us. They submit samples of their work. There's a jury committee that looks at their art and approves. The artist, actually only about 50% of the artists that apply are accepted for the jury part of the thing. We also are responsible for the food vendors, for the security, for maintenance, everything downtown during the festival except booking. The acts for the bandstand belongs to Destination Downtown Lancaster. And some of the events, for instance, the Friday night concerts after the festival groups stop, which is usually about 7 o'clock, the late evening acts that we have downtown, DDL books and pays for. Thank goodness we have a lot of wonderful sponsors and supporters that help subsidize that because it is pretty expensive to pull all that off.
Oh, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about activities. We talked about the annual meeting coming up. Talk a little bit about just activities throughout the year that's going on downtown.
Well, then the next event is our Mystery Dinner Theater, which we have open now to make reservations and buy your tickets. It is filling fast, so I do encourage people to get their reservations in. That's February 10th and 11th.
And that's going to be where?
At the banquet room at the Ale House.
Okay.
We had our first run-through with the cast the other night, and I've got to say it's the best group of people I've had a chance to work with.
Can you say what the play, what's the name of the play, or without giving a lot away?
It's called Arg, Murder of the Salty Dog. So there is a pirate theme to this. And
Fantastic.
they have been really practicing their pirate accents.
And again, go online to get tickets. Can you buy tickets at the door? Or?
It will probably, based on past history, be sold out come that point.
It'll be sold out well before February 10th and 11th, so you need to get your tickets early.
And tickets are how much again for that?
$85 a couple if you're a non-member, $75 a couple if you are an SID or DDL member.
Okay. Talk a little bit about the format. Is the audience involved in that?
It is very much so an audience participation. In their confirmation letter, it states if they want to have an audience role to let me know, and I've had some people already volunteer to have a role. It is a whodunit, so everyone gets to guess whodunit.
Fantastic.
And a lot of the the attendees dress up in costume, especially if they have a part, they dress their part. And others just dress up based on the theme just for fun. So it's a lot of fun.
And this year it's a pirate theme, right? That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun. What comes after that? What's after the dinner theater?
Well, we'll have our passport program, which for a week people can come and pick up a passport, visit the participating businesses, get their passports stamped, and that enters them into prize drawings. We have our chocolate walk, which again, participating businesses will have delectable samples of chocolate in
Very delectable.
Yes, in different forms and fashions.
And we should say that sells out very quickly. So if you're interested in attending the chocolate walk, buy your tickets as soon as we put them online.
And what's the website people should go to get their tickets? Or for general information even?
Go to destinationdowntownlancaster.com. From there you can move around and find either the events page, in the news page if you want to keep up on what's going on downtown and sign up for our weekly e-newsletter. All the information is on that website.
A lot of activities going on. So after the chocolate walk, what are we doing after that?
The museum walkabout.
The walkabout.
Is pretty quickly after that. Saturday cinema starts in May. The second Saturday night of the month, we have the big screen set up down by the bandstand, and
It's great activity.
have family-friendly movies, and with lots of refreshments that can be acquired right on the square, and also a number of local not-for-profits come and organize activities for kids, starting probably 6:30, 7 o'clock before the movie starts.
That's fantastic. So it takes a lot. This isn't something then you just do month to month. This is planned out through the entire year.
It takes the entire year, and it's not just us. I mean, the heart of all of this is the force of our volunteers. We depend heavily on people coming and spending their time with us and making these events the success that they are.
Do you need volunteers?
All the time, anytime, anyone, all the time.
I think that's begging.
And it's fun. And it's fun. I
Uh-huh.
mean, we obviously the volunteers we try to make it enjoyable, and they get to participate in the
Sure.
events or help set up and tear down. But it's and it's all for the good of the city and especially downtown.
Do you get a chance to go visit other downtowns to see what they're doing and steal ideas? Or
Well, one of the towns, my mom lives in Medina,
Oh,
and
good.
Medina has a wonderful town square. I visited some of their events, and on my next trip up, I plan on talking with the person that has the job that I have here up there, and her name happens to be Michelle.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah,
Fantastic.
networking whenever
Sure.
we go anywhere,
yeah.
we're networking.
When this first started, did you think it was going to be this big? I mean, I know Dave, you've been around a while. Did you that this would be this big?
I mean, that was always the hope. I mean, there's been downtown organizations for many, many years. It started out back in the 70s, 80s. There was the Lancaster Heritage District
Right.
Business Association, which a lot of the retailers and law firms, banks, et cetera, belong to. And then when the downtown revitalization was done in 2001, 2002, when they did all new sidewalks and the decorative street lamps and underground wiring and all that, the SID came about because the property owners, while they appreciated the new sidewalks, et cetera, they were concerned about upkeep and maintenance and what's going to happen over a period of years of that. So the SID, the first SID assessment was done, and again, they last for 5 years and have to be renewed. And then in 2000, and Main Street Lancaster then was part of the SID. And Main Street is a designation you can get from a national organization. And we were actually considered a Main Street community from 2002 or 3 through 2009. And the SID board decided that we probably weren't getting value for all the money that we had to pay every year to be considered a Main Street community. So at that time, Main Street was spun off, and we withdrew from the Main Street program and formed Destination Downtown Lancaster as a separate entity from the SID. So the objective was always to make downtown a wonderful place to come for activities, to eat, to shop, and to live. While it seems like a lot of things have happened in the last couple of years, it actually is just a culmination of work that's been done for many years, and it's a process of incremental improvements. You do this little thing, and it just builds and builds until, a snowball starts out small, but it gets bigger and bigger. And right now, we're in a position where we have no retail space downtown for rent. There are a few empty storefronts, but they're either not for sale or rent because the owner doesn't choose to do anything. So we have a list of retailers and restaurateurs that would like to be downtown, and we're working diligently to try to find places for them to be. And we think downtown is actually expanding to the west and to the south. You might know that Smokestack Hobby Shop recently moved a few doors closer to downtown and within significantly larger quarters, and you know, it's now within sight of East Main Street and easy to visit. On South Broad Street, of course, we have AHA, but 2 doors south of that we have Natural Remedies Therapy, which is fairly new, and welcome to downtown. In the very near future, at 333 South Broad Street, which many people might remember as the Gill Rock Laundromat many years ago. You have gray hair, you probably remember
I remember that, yes.
That's going to be KC Foods, which will be a convenience store, which is welcome downtown. And of course, most people know that Brad Hutchinson has recently purchased a mill and is renovating that as an event center. If you drive by there, you can see the progress that's being made already. He plans to have that open as an event center in June, and he'll be doing 4 apartments on the 2nd floor and expects to have them ready to rent in July.
Wow.
So, and we're trying to fill in between the mill and, you know, South Broad Street being by the post office and on down. There are some developments in the block that the post office is in on the other side of the street. 209 recently sold. And will be a new salon and spa. And 211, which has been vacant for many years, work has started on that, and the owner expects to have that in service sometime mid-year.
Wow. A lot of activity going on.
A lot of activity.
A lot of activity going
And
on.
yeah, I wish we had some more spaces to fill at this point, but we're, you know, we're working on it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. I know there's a lot of new restaurants that have gone in downtown. Michelle, when you look at things, you think, boy, why don't we do this? This would be neat. Why don't we do that? I mean,
Well, I'm just grateful to be a part of what's happening now. There's such an energy and growth that's going on. For people that haven't taken advantage of what's downtown, I really encourage them to come back, to come downtown. It's a very good feel. It's changed a lot in the last several years, and I encourage people to come down and see what's new and what's happening.
is there anything that you think about, thinking outside the box? We have an unlimited budget. What would you two like to see downtown? I know we talked about economic development and retail space, but somebody came to you and said, here's a check. You know, what would happen?
Well, my desire would be the Gateway site, which is at the corner of Main Street Memorial Drive, be turned into a development that has retail space on the ground floor and residential space on the 2nd and 3rd floor. The one thing we're really missing downtown is more residential space, and we get a lot of calls from people looking for apartments downtown. And there are actually about 120 apartments downtown, which people are shocked to learn.
I didn't realize there's that many.
Yeah, there are that many. We actually did an inventory, and I was surprised there were that many. But we could use many more than that, and just the millennials and retirees especially are interested in being downtown, where they can walk to get coffee, walk to the library, walk to shop, walk to get groceries, and a lot of those things are there, but the residential is missing. So that would be an area that I would certainly concentrate on if I had the blank check.
People always talk about the property across from the JFS building, south, the old foundry.
That's the Gateway site.
So that's will be named the Gateway site, or is that?
Well, it's just the common term that it's referred to as is the Gateway site. It's the gateway to downtown. Okay. And many of you know that was the Lancaster glass plant, which was tore down. There was pollution in the ground from that. The Wagenbrenner Company in Columbus owns it. There was a $2.4 million grant that was awarded for remediating the pollution. If you remember, they dug a lot of that out and hauled it away. And when you drive by there, you see monitoring wells, and that continues to be monitored. They have to report to the EPA periodically, and just to make sure that there's nothing left in there. And my recent understanding is that's going to go on at least through December of this year. Wow. So nothing, and it can't be used for anything while that's happening. You can't, I mean, people have said, let's make it into a park. I mean, it's obviously grassland. Can't do it. We can't have that used for anything. It has to sit there like it is until the EPA releases it.
one of the questions that people always ask is there's no place to park downtown. Now, there's places to park, so talk just a little bit about the parking issue.
That's a question that comes up, and I'm a contrarian in that regard because I don't believe there's a parking problem downtown. I live downtown. I work downtown. Sure, there are periods during the day when you drive down Main Street and you might not find a lot of parking places. I consider that a good thing. If it was empty, there would be nothing downtown, and the fact that there are a lot of cars down there means something is going on. So there are lots of spaces on Chestnut Street, Broad Street, Columbus Street to park. It just means that you have to walk a little ways, and that actually can be healthy. In the evening, especially, all the financial institutions downtown have agreed to allow after-hours parking in their lot. Most of the lots have signs posted, after-hours public parking, and so they're on Main Street, Chestnut Street, Wheeling Street, Broad Street, and there are hundreds of parking places downtown that are very convenient to get to. I've been working with the city for several years now to improve that. For a long time, we had 2-hour restricted spaces all the way from, on Columbus Street, from Walnut all the way up to Fifth Avenue, on Broad Street, on Wheeling Street, and Chestnut Street. We have eliminated the 2-hour restriction on 75 parking places on those streets, which allows downtown employees to park there while they're at work without fearing getting a ticket because they violated a 2-hour restriction. And yes, it is a short walk to where they work, but that should free up a lot of spaces. There was always a complaint that employees were parking on Main Street, Broad Street, and Columbus Street in front of where they work and moving their car every 2 hours. And does that still happen? Probably. There are people that do that, but we have a Customers First program that the downtown retailers and merchants have little cards they can put on under a windshield wiper if they notice an employee parking downtown that just says, hey, this spot is supposed to be for visitors and customers. Please park on one of these streets. Right. And a number of other things have happened. Downtown, the Jobs and Family Services lot is available after business hours for parking. There is a city-owned lot with 28 spaces on West Main Street between Jobs and Family Services and the smoke shop. It is 2-hour restricted, but it's convenient for the Columbus Street merchants. So there are a lot of things going on with parking. Of course, the question always comes up, we need a parking garage. Okay, where do you put it? Well, in that city lot on Chestnut Street. Well, my perspective on that is if people won't park on Chestnut Street in available spots now and walk to Main Street, why will they park in a parking garage that's there and walk to Main Street? So it's a dilemma. I'm just happy to look downtown and see lots of cars parked downtown.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and they have tried to address the public awareness factor of these parking spaces. There was a new sign put up with directional arrows.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the city's working closely with us to make every improvement possible. I think in the summer of 2015, there was a lot of spots or a lot of curb on Wheeling Street between Columbus and Broad Street. That was no parking. They added 8 parking spaces on Wheeling Street. They're unrestricted spaces, so that opened more parking up. And any time that we can find some place where we can stick another parking space, that we do it.
A lot of people don't know your hours or the location of your office. Just talk a little bit about where you're located and what your office hours are.
Our offices are in with the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce at 109 North Broad. Our hours vary because we're kind of in and out and about. Typically, I'm trying to be there Monday through Thursday, 9 to 4:30. Again, that varies if there's weekend events, but the chamber's there.
Right. Phone number, website, again, that people, if they want to get a hold of you.
Website is let me start over. Destination downtownlancaster.com. All the information can be found on the top tabs with drop-down menus. They can find what they're looking for. Our phone number is 740.
277-6607.
There we go.
I called the other day and I said 277. Thought it was your cell phone. When I called, I thought, oh, that's Dave's cell phone. But
And if we're not there, we do have voicemails, so leave a voicemail and we'll get back to you.
well, I tell you, it's been great having you both come in. Dave Scheffler, the executive director, and Michelle Storrs, the program coordinator. Super job. A lot of activity going on downtown. Again, if you want to go to, we have the annual dinner. Go through the events again.
Annual dinner, January 26th, 5:30 at the Ale House. Get your tickets now. The next activity will be the Mystery Dinner Theater, again at the Ale House Banquet Facility, February 10th and 11th. That will sell out quickly. There's space for about 90 people each evening. So if you have a group, which is always fun,
Right.
bring a group, get your tickets as a group. Come, you can sign up to have
Sure.
a bit part. You can come dressed following the pirate theme and really get into the activity.
Absolutely. Well, a great job again. It's a lot of people talk about visiting downtown and come to see us. So we appreciate the work both of you do. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And we have to say one more thing here, just quickly.
Uh-huh.
Lancaster was named as one of the
That's
17 small cities in the U.S. for a perfect weekend getaway
That's
by Expedia. Expedia, anyway, their
Blog
their
site.
blog, Viewfinder, Expedia Viewfinder blog. So we and a couple of the downtown businesses were highlighted in that post, and we were really happy to see that.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank
Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Lancaster Perspective. I'm Mike Miller. And remember, until we meet again, let's make a difference.